A very warm welcome to all my listeners on my channel Ali Shana's audiobook. So from today's onward I will read a new book and this book name is Tales of Mullah Nasruddin. So let's start intro of this book. History of Nasruddin. While Mullah Nasruddin has a designated birthplace and tomb in Turkey, he does not claim any such limitation. He is a citizen of the world, and while true to his faith, he is the very soul of tolerance and acceptance of all points of view. Historically speaking, in Turkey, he is known as Nasruddin Hoxha of Anatolia, an historical character from the days of Seljuk rule in what we in the West known as the Middle Ages. Nasruddin is known in various places and claimed as well by Afghans, Iranians, Uzbeks, Arabs, and the Turkic Xinjiang area of western China. Since the Seljuk Empire of 1000 to 1400 stretched from Turkey to the Punjab in India, as did the Achaemenid Empire 1,000 years earlier, carrying enlightening stories along with war from east to west and back again. Such a personage as Nasruddin can well be shared by all, whether as Nasruddin Hoxha or Mullah Nasruddin. Tales from worldwide. The Nasruddin stories, known throughout the Middle East, constitute one of the strangest achievements in the history of metaphysics. They are told and retold endlessly in the tea houses and caravanserais, in homes and on the radio waves of Asia. Nasruddin has gathered stories from far and wide during his extensive travels. Nasruddin has gathered stories from far and wide during his extensive travels. His peregrinations have taken him from Beijing to Boston, from Delhi to Delaware. He can't remember where he was born. It was so long ago, and he has been to so many places that wherever he is, he has a suspicion that it could be his true birthplace. Nasruddin has gathered Buddhist stories from the early Christian desert fathers, stories from the Rabbi Ulf tradition of Jewish wisdom, traditional Persian Sufi tales with a great debt to the Sufi teacher and collector of Nasruddin tales, Idris Shah, and stories from the spiritual traditions of India. Sometimes he even makes up his own. His trademark humor. The essence of Nasruddin is that he is a pure and simple fool whose foolishness gives us something to laugh at, and seeing his folly become wise by contrast. The true Nasruddin can act foolish, oh yes, but it is a different kind of foolishness, a foolishness with a purpose. The fool slips by the mental defenses and is poised to deliver the dagger blow of wisdom straight to the heart. Warlike phrases for the peace-loving Nasruddin, but his stories have such bite, such punch, they invite violent metaphor. At the first reading, all his stories may appear simple and at times extremely foolish, but underneath that facade is a whole underlying meaning and depth which is Zen-like. The ancient Sufis were skilled at this sort of hidden moral thrust. We might call them diabolically clever, except the result is so wholesome. Nasruddin's humor is more like chess. There are infinite varieties, and with a skillful enough strategy, there's no defense. Humor in Nasruddin's stories is like spiritual fiber. It's a natural ingredient of everything, and it keeps you regular through laughter. Is it any wonder that centuries later the stories are still heard and oft repeated in a different era and time? The timeless quality of the teachings and values of Nasiruddin is definitely worth passing on to a younger, more informed and high-tech generation. Nasruddin's stories from a loose narrative in roughly chronological are at least causative order. His sessions usually begin with an amusing anecdote or two and launch into a sequence of tales whose subjects flow one from another. Nasruddin's mission is to bring joy to you. In true Sufi fashion, Nasruddin aims to bring joy to all, regardless of age, who care to listen and watch. He bears no personal responsibility for wisdom gained or lessons learned. A philosopher, teacher, and guide. He is also a living example of peace of mind since Nasruddin firmly believes Allah will not send him more trials than he can bear, more bills than he can afford, or more joy than he can stand. He is not upset no matter what disaster seems to befall him. In the way of the Sufi, the eminent Sufi and scholar Idris Shah mentions that there is a Sufi community in what is now Pakistan in which Nasruddin stories are the only materials for teaching. Nasruddin is an much older than is a practical to say Persian storytelling character. His stories remain ageless. Thank for listening me carefully. In next video, I will read first story of this book. Thanks.